Hello my dear students! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will teach you on how to write your chapter 1 of your research paper. So let's go to our intro. If you're new in this channel, I share educational content for senior high school students, particularly video guides for the self-learning modules. Bigyan niyo po ng suporta ang channel na to sa pamamagitan ng pag-like, pag-comment, pag-share at pag-subscribe sa aking mga videos. Daghang salamat! If ever you bump in this video, baka nahihirapan kayong gumawa ng chapter 1 nyo or inatasan na kayo ng teacher nyo na gumawa ng sarili nyo chapter 1. In here, we will be talking about the guidelines on how to write your background of the study, statement of the problem, scope and limitations, and your significance of the study. I will be also giving an example para hindi kayo masyadong mahirapan sa paggawa nyo ng research or ng chapter 1 nyo. So, let's start and let's go to our slides. Hi everyone! So, today we will be starting to write our chapter 1. And in this video, I will be giving you guidelines on how to write the background of the study, statement of the problem, scope and limitation, and significance of the study. So to start, we have the background of the study. So your background of the study is the part of research provided in the introduction section of the paper. So ito yung pinakaunang part na makikita mo sa research paper mo. In writing, a good background of the study might determine your research questions or topics in a problem and the method being used to solve the issue or the problem. Before we get into this, I am assuming you already have your research title because your research title, dyan tayo iikot throughout our paper. So if you have your research title, you will be able to write your introduction or your chapter 1. So, dapat, by this point, meron na kayong research title na on hand. Okay, so what are the guidelines in writing introduction of the study? Paano ba to isulat? Or background of the study, I mean. So, of course, you need to introduce your topic. That would be the first part. I-introduce mo muna siya para magkaroon ng knowledge yung mga readers mo. What is your topic? Create some context and background. So, after introducing, dapat meron kang short background on what your research is or what your topic is all about. And you will also put there your plans on how you would want to carry your research, kung ano ba yung mga plano mong gawin. Then, you will state your rationale, in which you would state your reasons kung bakit ito yung napili mong topic, kung bakit dito mo gusto mag-study. Next, you need to explain why your research is important. You need to explain bakit siya importante. What is the use of this in your beneficiaries or in the society? So here, I will have an example. In here, we have our sample research topic, which is entitled Promoting Disaster Risk and Reduction Awareness through the Simulation of Mindanao Center for Resiliency's Earthquake Evacuation Guide through interactive virtual reality video using Unity. As you can see in this title, very specific na siya kung ano yung gusto niyang gawin. Gusto niya mag-promote ng disaster risk and reduction awareness. Kung anong gagamitin niyang basihan, which is the evacuation guide made by MCR or Mindanao Center for Resiliency, and kung anong gagamitin niyang interface, which is virtual reality and the specific application. So, very specific na siya na research title. So, in here, kaya ko sinabi kanina na kailangan meron na kayong research title if you want to make your chapter 1 because yan yung pagbabasihan mo sa background of the study mo. So, for example, in here, we have promoting disaster risk and reduction. So, because of that, Since diyan yung unang nandito, siya rin yung una mong i-discuss dito. Di ba? So we have disaster risk reduction plans are applied to reduce vulnerabilities, etc., etc. Don't forget to write your citations kung saan yung kinuha. Kasi to avoid copyright issues. So next, so pagkatapos niya na-discuss yung disaster risk reduction plans, which is the first part in your title, ilalagay mo, yung susunod mo namang ilalagay is yung Mindanao Center for Resiliency. Naglagay ka rin ng, inintroduce mo rin siya dito. Ayan. So, Mindanao Center for Resiliency pala is established last 2014 in MSUIIT to serve as the institute office that will handle matters related to disaster risk and reduction management. So, you will also see here the background of the MCR, kung anong ginagawa nila. So, they are focusing on conducting trainings and seminars and disseminating information through traditional formats like infographics, pamphlets, etc., etc., posters like that. As I mentioned earlier, you will also state your rationale. You will also state why your research is important. So you will open here. However, barriers such as cost, time, limited resources, such as manpower, limited the extent to which knowledge can be disseminated. So because of using traditional formats, merong mga limitations yung traditional formats. And that is where your study is going to insert. Meron kang introducing your topic, giving background information about topic. You also have your rationale. You also have your reasons why you want to do your topic, and you want to inform your readers what are your plans to solve your problem or to solve the issue that is present in your study. So here we have our plans. Training individual to real-life disaster requires simulation of real-life situations using controlled settings that would mimic it as closely as possible. Virtual reality allows a user to step through the computer screen into a computer-generated world. So as you can see, that is the plan of the topic, yung maggagawa ng non-traditional format, which is the virtual reality game for training or simulation of the students for the earthquake evacuation drill. So that is our example for the background of the study. So for the next part, we have our statement of the problem. Your statement of the problem describes an issue currently existing which needs to be addressed. It generates the questions which the research study aims to answer. Statement of the problem is a clear description of the issues. It includes the objectives, issue statement, and the method on how to solve the problem. So, statement of the problem, dito mo ilalagay yung current or existing issue na gusto mong isolve. You will elaborate clearly what are the problems or issue present in the society that you want to solve. So, statement of the problem, we have these guidelines. First, you need to put the problem in context. What do we already know? Describe the precise issue that the research will address. What do we need to know? Show the relevance of the problem. Why do we need to know it? And set the objectives of the research. What will you do to find out? So I will give you an example for the statement of the problem. So here we have our problem statement. After interviewing a building safety officer and conducting surveys to MSUIIT students, the researchers will address the discovered problems. So ito na yung mga na-discovering problema after doing research. According to a building safety officer of the institute, they are having difficulties in promoting disaster awareness due to the unavailability of facilities such as fire and earthquake alarms used in the institute and minimal time for executing evacuation protocols. They also said traditional disaster management formats such as seminars, drills, and infographic materials also offer low attraction of attention from the users, which results to low engagement and participation. These lapses made the students unfamiliar to the safest paths and points to go through in case of an earthquake. Next, we have scope and limitations. The scope of the study basically means all of those things that will be covered in the research project, meaning kung ano lang yung sakop ng study mo. And the limitations of the study are those characteristics of design that have impact or influence in the interpretation of the findings of your research. Limitations kung ano lang yung mga gagamitin mong design or principle sa iyong study. So, scope and limitations features in formulating scope and limitations of the study. You need to, number 1, state categorically the periods covered by the study. Kung hanggang saan lang yung period na covered lang sa study mo. If, for example, you want to analyze the effect of a specific mode of studying in a group of students, pwede 1 month lang yung gusto mo, 2 months, it depends on you. You need to include it in your scope and limitations. So, list specific aspects of the data such as personal information, sample size, geographic location, and variables. So, kailangan mo ding specify kung ano yung mga kailangan mong mga data. So, for example, this study is limited only to MSUIIT students that has the age 18 to 21, or female lang ba kailangan mo, or you only need 10 persons, etc. So, you need to give the scope and limitations for that. And list the academic theories applied to the data so the reader knows the lens of analysis you are using. You have here the researchers will gather information from the Mindanao Center of Resiliency regarding the Institute Earthquake Evacuation Plans and Guidelines only. So, you are stating na yung ginagamit mo lang na evacuation plans and guidelines is the one provided by the MCR only. You also giving what kind of design you are using, what kind of methodology are you using, kung anong gagamitin mong settings, which is the School of Computer Building only, so that makita talaga yung scope na ito lang gagamitin naming area, ito lang gagamitin naming place, ito yung methodology na gagamitin namin, and the design. Significance of the study. Significance of the study provides details to the reader on how the study will contribute, such as what study will contribute and who will benefit from it. It also includes the explanation of the importance as well as potential benefits towards the specific beneficiaries of the study. Kung ano yung mako-contribute ng study mo, kung sino yung makikinabang, at kung ano yung makukuha nila sa study mo. That is the significance. So, guidelines in writing the significance of the study, you need to refer to the statement of the problem, kung masosolve niya ba yung kailangan mo sa statement of the problem mo. Kung masosolve niya ba yung issue, kung connected ba sila sa statement of the problem mo. And you need to write it from general to particular, and you need to determine the specific contribution of your study to the society as well as to the individual or your beneficiary. So, for example, here we have our example of our significance of the study. So, this study will be of significant endeavor in disseminating information and promoting awareness to the MSU-IIT against natural disasters, specifically earthquakes, through an immersive experience. So, nilagay niya dito na it will only benefit or it will give more information to the MSU-IIT students regarding the national disasters, specifically earthquake. So, it will help the Mindanao Center for Resiliency for the transmitting of knowledge. And it also states its use to the society since it it is stating the evolution of technology and how virtual reality is being used to disaster preparedness process. Okay? So that is the significance of the study. So that would be all for our discussion about writing your chapter 1. If you have questions, you may comment down on our comment box below. And don't worry if merong mga mangyayaring revisions because all research papers really do have revisions. It's important para mas mapaganda pa yung papers nyo. Okay? So that will be all. Thank you for listening and adios and see you soon. Bye!